Hey everyone, welcome back to another recap chat. This is Irene, CBiz Media. We're talking Hunt for Love. Hunt for Love is a spin-off of the 90 Day Fiancé franchise, whereas couples from other countries and from the US try to find love and a life together. But times happen where that doesn't always work out. So the leftover people are now here for Hunt for Love, giving them a chance to find love again, teaching them how to date, how to be positive and have positive effects in their future relationships. It's Hunt for Love. Well, mostly they're just hanging out and hooking up, really. We do see a little bit of the coaches helping out, but mostly it's all about the messiness of it all. All right. So, first of all, we find out now from last episode who was in that ambulance, and we find out that Courtney is the one that broke Colt. She feels responsible. She says, I broke Colt because he had came to see her and hang out with her for breakfast, and when he leaves he slips and falls outside of her door. So she feels responsible for the fact that he kind of broke his leg pretty bad. And we hope Colt recovers well. According to what we've seen, it's pretty bad. I watched a little bit of Between the Sheets, and they were basically saying it was pretty brutal on Colt's body. So we do wish him a really good recovery. But one of the biggest sips of tea in this whole situation is that what is Colt doing at Courtney's? Just something to think about. Because the last we knew, Usman was trying to date her. I don't really see, I know her and Colt have something, and maybe the editors and producers are trying to hide this from us so we can be surprised. But this kind of lets us see, there's maybe more going on with Colt and Courtney than meets the eye. So now let's get into more of this episode. There's a cooking class. So, of course, the cooking class is not just going to show you how to cook. It's going to have a bedroom tone to it. It's got to have a hookup side to it, of course. She's going to teach you ingredients for bedroom performance. It's aphrodisiacs inside of this cooking class. Tim's not for it. He thinks it's going to be a lot of weird food items that he's just going to be creeped out by. But he wants to talk to May. Another person that wants to talk to May. Is May interested in Tim? Colt was interested in her. Tim appears to be interested. We didn't really even get to that part, so maybe we'll get to that part in the future. So some things we learned that are aphrodisiacs is watermelon. Didn't really know that. All of the liquid is very lubricating for your body. Fun fact. Praise the Lord, God is good. We love watermelon. Watermelon is a blessing. But don't think of it as an aphrodisiac. Tiffany and Rocky, Tiffany's like, she's glad Rocky's there because she wants to cook it up with him. They got their little side jokes and all, their little bedroom, their little naughty jokes on the side during this whole cooking class. Caramelized figs have an interesting shape. They say it looks like a female body part. Tim says he hopes not. He's scared of a woman that has a body part that resembles a fig, that she probably needs some medical help. This is Tim's opinion. He's freaked out by caramelized figs. Why? How does he not know what a fig is? And figs are pretty good. Have you ever had Fig Newton cookies, sir? And these are caramelized. Like, I would be so up for trying that. But anyway, yeah, he made some bad jokes on that. Now, Usman finds out during this cooking class that Courtney is actually with Colt, that he was leaving her room at the time where the ambulance came, and Jen went with them to be the translator. She saved the day. Jen, the translator. Usman is actually, he's like, oh, I hope Colt gets better and whatnot, but he's more mad about the fact that they were together in the first place at all. And yeah, I'm kind of surprised myself. So right now, Colt, he's getting morphine. He's got a leg fracture. And we know how Courtney feels super guilty about this whole thing. And she actually says this whole situation is testing her feelings for Colt, and she's not going to leave his side. She's going to be supportive. And maybe this is a test. Usman questions it all. He questions the whole thing of what's really going on. And I think we kind of all do. The girls and guys now, the cooking class is over. They separate. They're going out on the town. Guys separate and girls separate. And Usman, he's talking about Courtney still saying he's texted her and she hasn't responded. So he's just going to go have fun with the guys. Jen dishes on Courtney and Colt. I just like to call Courtney Court. Just it's easier to. Court and Colt. I mean, that goes together really well, doesn't it? But as the girls are out, that's what thing Jen talks about, is the whole situation with Courtney and Colt. And there's kind of a serious situation there, and their relationship could be getting serious. This is what Jen says. The guys, they say they want to hook Chad up. Chad is that guy that in earlier episodes, it was kind of awkward during the flirt test, and Courtney was trying with them, but they were both awkward, but he was like super awkward. They're trying to get him somebody. Tim predicts, you know what? We're all guys. The girls are probably going to have more drama than us. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a cool, fun night. Just us guys, right? Jen kind of plays in Tiffany's hair. They're just being super girly and friendly and fun. But that's not going to stay that way between Jennifer and Tiffany. No, it's not. She's like, oh, Tiffany, you have so many dates. She does have Jay. She has Carlo. And then she wants to talk to Rocky. They're all kind of vibing her on some level. I wonder if Jen's a bit jealous. Right now, she's not acting like it. Right now, maybe a little. She's acting like she's loving her, but you know how people do that when they're really jealous on the side. Anyway, Elise says, and I think I've been calling her Elaine, guys. If I've been calling her Elaine by mistake, I apologize. Feel free to correct me when I'm wrong and drop that in the comments. Elise says Carlo is actually upset that Tiffany got asked out by Jay. And, she tells the story, and Tiffany's like, well, wait a minute. Why was Carlo in your room, Elise? So they were talking in her room. A little bit comfy, cozy, a little bit too private, huh? Nikki dishes about Usman. It kind of talks about how things went on their date. Jennifer and Cole became a topic. Elise trying to clear her name about the fact that she hasn't been sleeping with Rob. She's being kind about it, but she's like, I need you to clear my name because I haven't slept with Rob. And she's really kind of telling the tea that basically, girl, you're not fooling us. We know you slept with Rob. Just, clear my name and tell the truth. Jen does admit that she's like, I haven't slept with Rob, but I would. Girl, you already have. Elise and Rob, she says that whole story, Elise says, is fake news. Because Jen brings it up and says that they've been sleeping together, and basically Elise is like, that's fake news. This is not really happening. And I think we'll see in later episodes. I think Jen suspects that, not Jen, I think Elise suspects that Jennifer made that story up to just get the heat off of her. Carlo, again, he's mad about Jay and Rocky. I'm trying to think, did the girls talk about this? Somebody talked about, the guys will end up talking about it too, but Carlo was mad about both of these situations. Tim's kind of hating on Cole. He says the girls have, sorry guys, let me go back. Tim was hating on Cole. He's like, he's kind of on Rob's side. He's like, well, if anybody has to deal with Jen, let him be the guy, because I'm more on Rob's side on the situation. I don't want to deal with Jen either. So he seems like he's team Rob on this scenario. The girls are over there dishing it up so much. They're talking about all of their bad bedroom stories. One had something to do with someone going into the wrong entry point. At least, Jen points out the fact that she's probably trying to brag. She said this guy was a pro ball player. And, Jen was like, she didn't have to lead with that scenario. But basically, the guy had her wearing a strap-on product. I thought that was really juicy. And this isn't the first time I've heard some men may be into this. I'll just say that. Not going to get too deep. Then there's the fantasies. Somebody said role play. Somebody said to have two guys at the same time. Jen actually says she wants to be with a transsexual man that is not fully transitioned, but she says she's not bisexual. Then they bring up the whole Chantel kiss. Then Nikki talks about her bisexuality, and it becomes a sexuality palooza where everything's mixed all around and everybody's confessing of all of their different thoughts and wishes and all of that. And Nikki actually says she had a crush on Jen. She maybe still be crushing on her. Tiffany calls out Jen, Cole, and Rob drama. So enough of this talk about everybody being with everybody and doing all types of things. Let's get into the juicy part of what's going on. Going from one juice to the other. I'll say the tea about Jen, Cole, and Rob. She basically calls out Jen in front of everyone. She said, we need to handle this drama and deal with this. We're having fun right now, girl time. But it's like, let's get this out of the way, this drama. I think Jen handles herself well. She does say she's kind of playing the villain, and she kind of likes the fact that people aren't liking her. I think Tiffany kind of loses her cool on some level. And she's really complaining that Cole is coming to her because he's friends with Carlo. And she's like, you need to get this situation controlled because he's whining to me about you guys' situation. And Jen is like, you need to set forth some boundaries. He's not my dog. I'm not responsible for him. And in a way I agree with her. In a way, she's being deceptive. I'm kind of in the middle when it comes to this argument as far as the way they're going about it. I definitely think Jen is wrong the way she's handling this. But I don't think that Jen has to have him to answer to her or has to answer to anyone when it comes to Cole's whining behavior. I feel like she doesn't have to answer to that part of the scenario, but she knows she's wrong. So the guys are over there, they're talking to some girls, and Rob kind of bonds with a black young lady who's also from London, like his ex-wife. And he's like, he can't get away from women from London even when he's over in Mexico. I guess he's now thinking about his ex. But Usman talks about the two young ladies, both African Americans. And he's like, I wouldn't talk to them because that they don't have a big backside, but he's praising Courtney's backside. He loves Courtney's backside. He said that's what it's all about. So then the guys kind of get into who's with who. Let's stake our claims, guys, so that we can be all on the same page. I guess not step on each other's toes. This was probably a bad play, but Rob kind of plays tit for tat. He's like, well, you guys are talking about me, Jen, and Cole, but look at Tiffany. She's got Jay, she's got Carlo and Rocky wanting her. It's not even triangle at this point, it's a square. He's stirring the pot. And somehow Carlo hears about the situation and they're all talking together. And then Jay starts talking and he gets mad at Jay for the fact that, they're fighting over Tiffany. Hands are thrown. People are blocked. Some of the guys are trying to block them from each other. Hopefully that works out. But we saw a little bit of hand throwing, a little bit. I think they're going to stop it because we don't want any lawsuits on the show, guys. We just want a little bit so it can look juicy. We don't want any lawsuits. We don't want anyone really getting hurt. But he says just something about Jay. Never really talked to him until he was like, oh, I'm going to try to check on your girl. We'll try to talk to your girl. Then he's going to talk to him. So he's really kind of getting PO'd. I don't know, Carlo. I think he's trying to act like man's man and trying to prove something. And I feel like he's not really that guy. I think he works out and stuff. I'm sure he could pull that off. But I don't really feel like that's his personality. He's just trying to be something for this show, I guess, to get us entertained. And I'm not mad at it. Just don't hurt each other, guys. Jen says, we're back to the girls. She will explore both guys if she wants to. It's her choice. That's why they're here at this retreat. But she's for Cole. That's the one she's really looking at. He does have red flags, controlling. And Tiffany calls her out, basically saying, if you think he's controlling now, what do you think he's going to be in a relationship? You need to call that situation out now. And then she references to the producers, hey, if I was with someone and they were showing me red flags that my ex had, I wouldn't be dating that person. So why are you even dating somebody if he's so controlling like this? She's basically calling bull on Jen. And Elise kind of, is at this point getting upset, saying, who's accusing me of sleeping with Rob? And she's like really calling Jen out on this. Who's accusing me? You're telling me this. Who's coming up with this accusation? And I kind of think it's her, but she says it's Cole. So Jen lets us know to the producers that she's the villain and she's having fun with it, and the show will go on, and the fighting and the arguing and the tea and all that will continue. So that's it for this time. Hunt for Love. We'll talk to you next time, guys. Thoughts, comments, questions, email me at cbiztv@yahoo.com. Also, you can check us out on our other platforms on our website at cbiztvmedia.com. And we'll talk more faith, love, and trends right here on CBiz Media. This is Irene. Talk to you next time. All the best. God bless.